Hello, welcome to the final week of Pick 3 DST for the 2021 NFL season. As always, I'm going to give you 3 defenses I like and 1 defense I think you should avoid for this week, Week 18. And I assume if you're tuning in, it's because your league has a Week 18 championship or you're playing this week for DFS. So I'll give you my picks and we'll talk through some of the do's and don'ts for Week 18. As a reminder, if you want my full weekly rankings, you can click the link below. That will take you to the article with my full rankings, as well as a link to the Google Sheet where I will keep those rankings updated during the week. So let's dive in to my stud option for the week. It's the New Orleans Saints. They're third for me on the season, but I have them as my number 1 defense for this week. A week after being shorthanded due to COVID, the Saints put a hurting on Carolina on Sunday, finishing as the 2nd ranked defense of the week, but they've been the 3rd ranked defense over the last month. On the season, they're 7th in the NFL in sacks, 3rd in tackles for a loss, and 5th in percentage of drives that end in an offensive score. Considering the Saints need to win this game to get into the playoffs, we can expect that they're going to come hungry and play their starters for the whole game, which is more than we can say for most other teams on the slate this week. Also, the Falcons give up the 5th most points to opposing fantasy defenses and might be without Kyle Pitts, who hurt his hamstring last week against the Bills. All of that means that I love the New Orleans Saints as a safe and high upside play this week. As a reminder, pause this video, comment below, let us know who your number 1 defense is for the week, or ask us any questions about what defense you should be playing for Week 18. Now we're going to move to my stud defense of the week. It's the Tennessee Titans. They're ranked 2nd for me this week and 9th for me on the season. The Titans destroyed a hot Miami team last week, finishing as the 4th ranked defense by allowing only 256 total yards of offense. They sacked Tua Tagovailoa 4 times and also forced 2 turnovers. On the season, they're 10th in the NFL in sacks and 11th in QB hurry rate. Tennessee is playing for the number 1 seed in the AFC, so they have something to play for, and they're going up against a Houston team that's gotten better but is still not really dynamic. So I think the Titans are one of the safer plays on the board this week and why I really like them. Now we're going to move to my sleeper defense of the week, who I see a lot of people have outside of the top 5. It's the Dallas Cowboys. I have them 5th on the week, but they are my 2nd ranked defense of the year, and this is where you get into some of the Week 18 trickiness. The Cowboys have clinched the NFC East, but they're playing for some playoff seeding. They're going up against Philadelphia, who's clinched a playoff spot, but is pretty much locked into the number 7 seed, so the Eagles don't really have a lot to play for this week. Also on Monday, the Eagles put about 12 starters on the COVID IR. And considering this game doesn't mean a lot to them, we don't really know if they're going to rush to activate those guys in time for Sunday. So it means the Cowboys could be a pretty solid play. The Dallas defense has been the number 1 ranked defense over the last month. They're 5th in pressure rate, 3rd in turnover rate, and if they get a full game against the Eagles' backups, we should expect a high ceiling. However, we don't know if Dallas is really concerned about seeding. They may decide to rest their starters and keep them healthy for the playoffs. Or maybe they'll build up a big first half lead and then rest their starters for the second half. All of this makes Dallas a little bit of a risky play, but a play that I like for their upside and a defense that I think you should at least have on your bench as we continue to read the news coming out during this week. And now my stay away defense for the week, it's the Green Bay Packers. And I want to use the Packers as an example of a team that's pretty risky in Week 18, but not a team that you absolutely cannot play. So Green Bay is a pretty solid defense overall and has a good matchup against the Lions. However, Green Bay also locked up the number 1 seed in the NFC, so this game means absolutely nothing for them. It's possible they would rest their starters the entire game, which would make them a defense that I don't want to play against Amon-Ra St. Brown and a Lions team that's becoming pretty feisty. However, the Packers may also not want to rest their starters for 2 straight weeks because they'll have a bye next week. So it's possible they'll play their starters for half the game or maybe 3 quarters. And then that would make them a defense that I think could be usable for you. So this is a situation where you really need to check the news as the week goes on. I think the Packers should be on your bench, but I wouldn't really consider them a starting option unless we get an indication of what they're going to do with their starters during the game, because it could be too risky for me if they play these guys one half and then pull them. And really, that's something we need to keep in mind for all of these defenses. You should have 2, maybe 3 defenses on your roster as the week goes on, and keep reading the news until we get a better sense of which teams are going to play their starters, which teams may limit their starters, or which teams may not play them at all. And that will then help you to determine what defense is safer, or maybe what defense has a higher ceiling. As a reminder, if you could please like and subscribe to this video, that would be really big for us. Even though there might not be more weekly content, we're still going to keep putting out some playoff content. The subscribe really helps. We really appreciate you guys tuning in for this season, and we will be back ready to go for the 2022 season. So make sure you subscribe so you can get that content as soon as we start getting those kind of draft rankings and preseason content out for you. Good luck in week 18.